Okay.
We can finally stream.
Okay.
That's what we've been waiting
Hello.
for.
Okay. Hello. We are
Hello?
only 18 minutes late, but welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming.
Hey,
Very
everyone, hey,
ragtag.
everyone.
Everything broke
Oh my god.
when we started. Thank you very much for coming. So today for day one is going to be our directors, producers, and team leads. So to start off, we're gonna just introduce a couple of our members. How about Duke? You can go first.
Yeah, all right. Hi everyone. Thanks for coming. My name is Duke Moon. You can call me whatever you want, honestly. I am a translator in Onahara and was the director for Gen 1 and Gen 3.
Yay! Punch!
Do I need to say anything else? All right.
No, I think that's good for today. Thanks. Come again tomorrow.
The guy upside
See you
down.
tomorrow.
Okay, Ek, do you wanna go?
Me. All right. Hey, everyone. So I guess the HoloRes people already know me, but for those of you who don't know, I'm Ek. If you've seen my YouTube channel, or if you've ever come across a guy with a sword and an E, well, I wouldn't say it's an E, but it's like a blue snake-looking thing as a symbol. That's my channel called Ekun. I can't say I am now, but during the project I was HoloRes's team, not team lead, entire group
Team
lead.
leader.
Yes. So I played the role of I was in the role of producer, part TLC, and QA, and I did a bit of translations as well. Yep, that's it.
Thanks, Ek. Okay, next.
Thanks, Ek.
Wait, why is Mom here?
Oh, I'm still here.
Mama.
You know what?
Yeah.
Mom
You
here.
know what?
Bro.
You know what? I'll let me get some screen time and then I'll leave.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
That's
Alright.
Mom, our slave master. All right, next.
Are you gonna introduce yourself?
Sure.
You gonna introduce
Hello.
yourself, Food?
My name is Food. That's F8 O's and a D. I am I suppose I'm technically the leader of Aonahara. I was one of the producers on the Aonahara side, and I am going to bed really soon. So good luck to the rest of you. Good luck to the rest
Don't
of
let his
you
name
with
fool
this-
you. He doesn't feed any of us.
Lamau. Good luck to
That's
the rest
correct.
of you with this
Hungry.
stream. And what is it? Have fun.
Yay.
Thanks,
Yay.
Food.
Bye, Food.
Thanks.
Your baby.
Yeah.
All right, he actually
Going to
he's
sleep.
actually
He's
left.
actually gone. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I guess it's MLG's turn then.
Hi everyone, I'm MLG, the director for both Holocene Gens and also TLC for 4 of the Holocene talents. I also played the subber for the CN2 talents, and I think I would just like to say welcome to the stream and please enjoy your time here.
Very formal.
Alright.
Nice.
Very formal.
Yeah,
Guess it's Jake's turn.
Yes, indeed. Hello, everyone. I'm Jake. I am a
Jake is
translator with
good.
Aonahara, and I am the
Yeah,
director for
so
Gen
far.
0 and Gen 4 for Holo Rewind.
Cool.
Yep. Anything
That's all
else?
from me.
All right. Oh shit. I guess it's Henry's turn then. For
Alright,
going down the list.
I'm Henry, the nervous wreck. I am the I am the editor leader for Aonahara, and in the project I worked on the trailer, Gen 4, except for Kanata and Shion. And I am in Uisim. Thank you.
Resident Oisim. All right. Polos, introduce yourself.
Hey, hi, I'm Polos, one of the overall team leads for Hololive formerly Resistance, now Resort subs, are commonly referred to by all of HoloRes as Mom. I perform a producing role with Hollow Rewind and with our team in general. I'm also an editor, and I did the editing for Hollow Stars Generation 2 and 3. Did a little bit of PR work and some various other random tasks, and a lot of the at least on the HLR side, advertising and kind of getting the word out about Hollow Rewind, as well as doing coordination with various other communities.
Hold up. Mom in Hollow Res or just the team? I've never heard you being called that.
Yeah, the sauna lounge. If I pop in there, they tend to call me mom there too. It's starting to spread
And I'm not
over,
called
so-
that. I see.
Dad
You're
abandoned
also
us.
a volunteer firefighter, right?
No, you're
Polo?
called Dad.
Yes, I am a volunteer.
Wow.
There's a lot of
firefighter,
weird
yeah.
family dynamics going on here, huh?
Holy shit.
Thanks for your service, Polos. Thanks for your service.
Look, it's just fun, okay?
Fun. All right, Rust, introduce yourself.
Alright. I guess my name is Raz. I'm the director for Stars Gen 1 and Gamers. I'm a translator for YKS and Aonahara. And I guess that's it. I do translating. I also check the translation to see if they're fine. That's mostly what I do, I guess. Yeah, I guess
Ra-
that's it.
Yeah.
Rast,
Hey,
can-
Rast, on record, weren't you also
Hey,
the
hello?
Corona Uber simp
What?
for the project? Weren't you also the Corona Uber simp?
What? Well, yeah, I forgot. I'm also.
He forgot. He forgot.
God!
No, I mean,
You forgot you were a simp.
I'm the Corona sim, but I didn't think we have to say that. But yeah, if
I
you
just
would
said
like
a
to
while
know,
ago I am an Ui sim.
if
I just
you
thought
would
it'd be
like
good to
know,
bring up.
I'm the Corona sim, and and because I'm the director for gamers, I basically had free reign on everything about Corona.
Okay.
Nice.
Thanks.
Riku.
Let's start off with the minor roles. I sub Gen 5. I directed Gen 2. I also I've also quality controlled all the subtitles for the entire Hololive, Hollow Rewind, I mean. And most importantly, I was the one behind the whole Hollow Rewind.
Your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, this entire thing is your fault.
Oh
Wait,
yeah,
wait,
we'll definitely talk about that later.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
we'll get our chance to roast him. Let's get the introductions over with first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Share your turn.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming by the stream. My name's Sheer Precision, or Sheer. I was one of the 5 producers for Hollow Rewind. I am the Japanese translator, TLC leader, as well as Aonahara's quality assurance team leader as well. Other than that, I helped out translate in TLC a couple talents, as well as helped quality check several talents as well as watching the full generation videos that you all had enjoyed, hopefully, on both of our channels. So again, welcome and thanks for dropping by the stream.
Yep.
Cool.
Thank you, Share. All right. Should we get some easy questions to start? How about that?
Are you two going to introduce yourselves?
Are we going to introduce
Yeah.
ourselves, Chima?
Yeah, I think we should. You want to go
I guess
first?
we should. All right, I'll go first. Hey guys, I'm Illidan. I'm one of the proofreaders for Aonahara, and I don't really do much. I'm in cosplay, as you can see. I've been cosplaying for, I think it's been 6 years this year since I started cosplaying, and it's also been 6 years since I started proofreading. So that's about me.
Wow.
That's basically me. I'm no one
Awesome.
special.
Pachi.
All right,
Awesome.
go Chima, your
Lolly.
turn.
Okay. Yes.
The code.
Last but not least, Illidan and myself are hosting this podcast. Very ragtag. We designed it very quickly. My name is Chimata. I am a translator, translation checker, proofreader, and general quality assurance and paranoid schizophrenic of everything quality. There is on
That's hilarious.
yes, that is on in this project, and I was one of the producers, and I did everything from whipping Riku to yelling at Riku to yelling at Riku with polos. I think that's about it. So with that,
Yeah,
I think we'll get
real good.
Yep.
No,
So with that, I think we'll get into the questions. Yeah, let me just start with.
Yeah, you start.
Yeah, sure. So all of you guys can jump in and just have a conversation and all that. And if you guys have to leave, no problem. This is just a conversation. Just some general questions. What do you think about this project, and do you think this project was worth it? Can we hear a little bit about your motivations and your inspirations other than Riku?
Other than Riku.
Say,
I'm getting poor treatment here.
You
It
deserve
kind of
it.
evolved
Who
as
is
it
Riku
went.
together?
Like, when this whole thing started, my initial motivation was like, man, when we're starting this
Wow, no one's
project, it
talking.
feels like no one has an idea of how crazy it's gonna get. So if I don't get involved, like, I don't know, I felt like I wanted to help the group not completely die over the ambition that was set before us. So that was why I took on the director role originally, and I was sort of a pessimist at first.
So like I got thrust into the whole producing side of things with
Hmm.
like originally I was originally just going to be an editor, and then Ek
But
had
you
to
are
take a
Polos.
leave of Ek had to take a leave of absence. So he's like, hey, you've got you have some previous experience with managing groups and that sort of stuff. Can you like
Blame Ek.
temporarily
It's not my
take
fault.
take
No, the project's for your
take
fault.
control. So I got told, hey, can you like temporarily like take control here? I was like, yeah, okay. And like this is right at the beginning of Hollow Rewind, and then it went from temporary
No. Wait,
control.
hold up.
It went from temporary. No, let me finish. It went from temporary control to
Mhm.
you're now like co-leading this thing. Congratulations. And one thing led to another, and here we are.
Yeah, I started this position out of sort of like a mix of apprehension and sort of like feeling a duty to not let the group just like explode. But then it sort of turned into a lot more of like I want to see this through, and I'm really happy that we started it sort
Same.
of thing. Like I was really glad that we had done it in the end,
Oh,
because I just felt like I'd learned a lot through the process and that there was a lot to show for it.
This has for sure been one of the coolest things I've ever done with an online group. Like hands down. Like I'm very proud of.
This is
the end
my
result.
first experience with an
Yeah.
online group, actually. Yeah.
This was
Yeah.
actually a really good experience overall.
Mhm. Yeah.
If we ignore all the lost sleep, stress, and
Lost.
sanity loss, if you will.
No, I'm so behind
And
it in
the
my
yelling.
like class right now.
Yelling by Chi.
I feel like I
Yeah, yeah.
committed several
Broken
war crimes.
households.
God,
You did a
my-
Picota.
You did.
You did
my
a Picota.
scores fell so bad.
Pain Tackle.
I ruined so many sleep
I'm,
schedules.
I'm
with this
still I'm
project.
still behind. I blame you. I'm still behind. Thanks, Rico.
You did a good job, Henry. It was worth it. Though I will say, it was really interesting that, like, a lot of this started with, as we all say, Riku's proposition, which we credit him largely with how the idea came into existence, at least the prototype version of it. And it came across to me as we started as like, this is an idea that someone sort of throws around as like, this is sort of a fun thing to bring up, but we're not going to take it seriously, right? Until we did. And that was the part where it's like, I'd never done that before. I've always been such an, like, I don't know if this is like an introversion, extroversion kind of topic, but to me, it was just like, I never had the confidence or the courage to have a crazy idea or something that just seemed like so huge in scale and actually even begin to go through with it. And this is like the first time in my life that something like that ever happened.
All
And,
right.
I'm really happy that I
I'm
did.
gonna talk
But yeah.
about my POV for how this kind of started. So,
Okay. go
we,
ahead.
okay.
Wait,
well, first,
let me say something first. Hey,
Hey.
before you ruin my name.
Wait.
Before
Okay.
you ruin
Are you
my
trying to
name.
defend yourself?
Okay. I think Riku
I-
gets to speak his mind first.
Yeah, I think we should let Riku say.
Before you ruin my name. I told Ek about this like on May, and he just said like, "Sure, go for it." And
I
I
don't
like,
think it was May.
I had
I think it
no.
was later than
It was
that.
on May. It was on May.
Can you?
Polos had
All
proof,
right. No,
so it
I
was
think
in May. And then you just said, "Yeah, go for it." And then, but I didn't have any backing towards it, so it just kind of left in a standstill until like I got food. I contacted food, and then like
So it's still your fault then. It's still your fault then. It's still your fault then.
It technically is still your fault,
You,
Riku.
you
Hey,
basically
let me
just got
save-
another group to do your
let
shit.
me
Yeah.
let me save face.
Okay,
All right,
okay, that's
check-
that's enough of Riku.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So-
your turn.
All right. So when I don't actually remember when it came out. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to actually look for the actual message. But so what happened was that Riku came out to me sometime between fall of last year, and he said like, "Oh, I want to do this thing," and I don't think I remembered it because I was still like focused on just like building the channel. We were still pretty young at that time. Not even like 5,000 subs at that time, I think. And then what happened? Yeah, so Riku came up to me again and said, "All right, I've managed to get Aonahara with us. I'm I'm planning to get this start soon." And I was just like, "Yeah, okay." And I was actually pretty busy in real life. That's why I kind of had to hand the responsibility to Polos. Thank you,
Wee.
Polos. You helped. You were a great help. And then it was only when food like okay. Oh, first the motivation why I decided to go along with it and just like not complain is because I like crazy ideas. You know, whenever someone like makes something like big that we can potentially pull off. I'm usually drawn to that. So in a way, Riku, besides the roasting, I'm glad you kind of pulled this off, but it's still your fault.
Hey, I at least pulled my weight. I didn't become dead weight.
That is true.
That's
That is
true.
true. Riku
You
did
got a
pull his
point.
weight.
You got a
We
point.
will concede that. We will concede
Yeah,
that point.
I can comment on that briefly. Like, I don't know anything about subbing, but every time I looked into the subbing channel, I always saw Riku going ham on stuff and checking everybody's
Bruh,
work.
I still
He gave some
remember like
recognition that I thought were really good, you know.
I still
So
remember like sending an image and then Rico just pops in like it's 1 pixel off.
yeah, exactly.
I remember that.
That is correct.
All
He
right.
did a great job
I
turning us
wonder-
all into masochists.
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder if I
well,
could
that's
just
why
like talk
Riku is
about.
the team lead now for
Yeah,
HoloRes.
one of the co-lead.
Because he's the one with the
right.
ideas. And
Moon,
well,
Moon, you had
I-
something to say? Moon, you had something to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if I could talk about my personal POV.
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd
Go for it.
basically so I'd had a hiatus from Onahara for a little while for mostly personal reasons and whatnot. And so I joined a little bit a little under a month after the whole project had already started. But the project was so bare bones at that time. It was I don't think Chima was actually doing anything at that time. I think it was just food and some clippers. And
Yeah.
for like one whole month,
That's
the
right.
clippers had been clipping just like the most okay, not to be mean, like not totally pointless clips, but way too few clips and not very important clips. So it was quite clear that the whole
We were getting nowhere.
direction of
Yep.
pretty much as Jake said, I was also like mega pessimistic
Skeptical.
about it, honestly. And yeah, it's just I was personally a little bit worried about whether we were going to make it or well, I was actually much more I was actually kind of even almost a little sure that we were just going to embarrass ourselves, but it did get a lot better, which is
I think
which is fortunate. And yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, I think honestly, like
Yeah,
Chima
go.
here is like one of the genuine lifesavers of the project. Without Chima, this project would have
Yeah,
just crashed.
definitely, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
He
definitely.
literally came into our staff
Definitely.
chat with like a
Agreed.
resuscitator and a freaking hospital
Yeah.
bench and just took Aonahara, couldn't
Um,
buy
I
the
mean,
arm and just
this
zapped us
project
until we
first
got into gear.
was brought up in Aonahara, with like what, August?
Yeah,
Yep,
I think it
something like that.
was.
Something
Yeah, I
like
think it was around late July. It was first brought up. Okay, I think Food said, okay, we're gonna do some rewind stuff.
I can give you the timeline.
No,
if you want.
the only thing
I
Food
tracked down
told
all
us
the
was
messages.
something big is going to happen.
Yeah,
so that's all what he
something
told us.
Yeah,
That's all what he
they,
told us.
he was just said that we're gonna do something big, and then nothing happened until like in the middle of August, and then all of a sudden we had to fucking crunch time.
Yes.
Just barges into our door.
Wait,
Hey,
wait,
you
wait.
got some work, buddy.
Can I say something about the
It wasn't even like-
when
Oh, sorry.
food came into HoloRes and Ping V?
God, that was
To be
hilarious.
Yeah,
absolute,
sure.
Oh, do tell.
So what happened was that food pinged me. I think it was food or like either Chimmy or food pinged me, and they said, "Dude, we gotta get this started, or we're not gonna make it." And of course, we did not make it for 2020, but we still made it. You know, early
Yay.
2021.
Too much
Twenty
late.
twenty twenty
My
one.
soul is gone, but at least we made it.
Wait, should we
Worthy
let them
price to
see
pay.
our original timeline?
Oh yeah, Chima, do you want to
yeah.
pull that up real quick? Do you want
Or
to
Wait,
should we
what?
talk about
Oh yeah,
that?
bring up
Yeah.
the
Bring up the original timeline if we still
Oh,
got it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
so-
Okay.
So I just want
no.
to frame things a little bit for everybody. Okay, so the original idea for this, I actually have tracked down all the original messages and everything.
Oh my God.
So
Oh, nice.
Can you send that somewhere so that I can put it up on stream?
I sent you in
What is
Spy
the-
Torture area.
right.
There's an image there for you, which
Okay.
is this is the
Torture
proof image that it's all Riku's fault.
Okay, great.
But that is from May 11th.
Okay, so
Uh,
people on stream, you can
and,
see this.
yeah,
This is the start of the nightmare.
So basically on May 11th, basically Riku came up with this idea, and there was a whole like I think about like 10 back and forths between Ek and Riku, where Ek was just like, yeah, whatever, Riku, if you want to do that, we can do that. And Riku's
Yeah.
going like, this is gonna be great. We'll like do all this stuff. It'll be great. And then we don't talk about it for like 2 weeks. And then it gets brought up again as Riku's like, yeah, I kind of still want to do that thing. And then we it got brought up with food on August 5th. And there was some discussion started there, and then food surprised Anohara with it, and then suddenly we were all scrambling. About mid-September, we were like, we really kind of need to get started on this thing, and we're already behind. And then we really started clipping in earnest. Really, we really were getting a lot of the clipping done in October. And really mid-October is where you really start to see a lot of things start to happen in the project, which if you look at our original projected deadlines as they are on screen right now, hopelessly optimistic.
God.
Yeah.
There were many meetings.
Wait,
There were many
did we take
meetings
in the new recruit?
where we're all sitting here in this director's producers meeting going, we're fucked. We can't. What are we gonna do? Like we're so far behind. Do we push the deadline? Do we push? We gotta push the deadline. So we'll push the deadline. And then we're like getting close to like where we were going to start releasing things, or like looking at editing, going, fuck, we're not done yet.
Paula sounds he's about to cry.
He's actually going to cry.
So
We had
So I will say,
pushing it.
I mean-
pushing it. And we were just like, okay, we can't push it any farther. We've already told people late January, so we'll shoot for the last day of January, and that wasn't gonna happen. So we were like, we'll push it a week.
Cyberpunk apology.
Yeah, so the cyberpunk apology.
apology.
Yep. And then
Yeah,
I
wonder if we
made
have
the
a reference for
apology
that.
image. The apology image. Do you need the apology image? Because
I think everyone's seen it. I think everyone's seen it.
I think everybody's seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. Chima,
I'll-
we've got some marshmallows actually.
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
segue
we got
us
some
into the next couple of
marshmallows.
questions. Yeah, we've got some
Yeah,
marshmallows,
sure.
and they're wondering. A lot of people were wondering about the clip selection process and like how we chose the clips and like the ordering of the clips and
Oh.
whatnot. So yeah, they were just wondering about that, and if you guys want to like talk about that.
There's a lot to that. I think
lot.
each director, to an extent,
Well,
had their own way of doing things or a certain quirk in their approach. But I think a couple things that probably were standard is that everybody wanted to have clips from like at least one bit from every month of the year up until when clips had been received. Because like what was true for all of us is that we were working somewhat within like a limited range of clips from some things that were submitted through the community, which we might talk a little bit more about that later. But of course, if a director had knowledge about a VTuber that they were directing for, that was also helpful. And yeah, you want something from every month of the year. And also when you had a draft done, if a director had a draft of like, okay, I want these clips, and maybe they had an order done, maybe they didn't, they would talk with someone who we had from the community who knew a lot about that specific VTuber, who we called Uber Simps, and then they helped us get them finalized direction.
Yep. Thank you
Some
for
of
that,
the
Jay.
most simple bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, in one.
MRG, go.
Yeah, sure. CN was very special because, well, the CN talents didn't have any archives on BB. And so it was quite hard for us to find the clips for CN. So instead, what we did was mainly we went on to Bilibili. And because the talents themselves, they had their own clippers, they had their own subbing channels. So we essentially took some of the raw clips from those sub clips, and then we resub them, and basically it probably comprises of about 50% of the CN video. And at the same time, I've said this many times before, but we managed to get into contact with CBS and Echo's subtitle group, and they gave us a lot of raws for the video, which helped us make the video like it is today, or else you'd see a lot of it would probably be delayed by another week because the subbing would take ages, and because we have to mask everything off. So yeah, I would like to thank them specifically.
Yeah, thanks to those guys.
I know.
Thanks to the guys over. Yeah, I heard about that too. Thanks to the guys over at the CN channel subbing groups for giving us the
They really
roles.
had to
We
get
would've been-
creative.
Yeah, because especially during what happened, the incidents. So thanks to those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. EK, you had something to say? EK Polos?
Oh no, I'm good. Sorry, my
Okay.
mic's just.
Yeah,
going on.
one of the and something that I mean, I saw comments about this, and I mean, it was kind of sort of touched on. We were really big on just trying to one, give a good overall of the year, right? But also, one of the big driving factors, at least this was brought up multiple times, is we wanted to try and make sure that everything was a good representation of the talent. Like overall, like you could watch the 5-minute clip and get a good handle on the funny moments of the year, but also the serious moments of the year, and also kind of get a good handle for the actual talent overall. And that's why if you look at kind of how when we were asking for community clipping, we were asking for moments that made you laugh, made you cry, the moments you really, really enjoyed and really loved watching them, that sort of thing. And because one of the big things is a lot of
Mm-hmm.
talents. A lot of people focus on the big meme clips, and there's a lot of meaningful stuff and a lot of just day to day that makes them a really fun talent to watch and that sort of thing. That just
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
gets skipped over.
What way Polo said is that, you know, the memes are important too. You know, a lot of people find
Right.
memes to be very memorable, but there's a lot more that happens on a VTuber streaming from on a daily basis, you know, between the weeks and months that they've been doing their whole career, really. And we wanted to capture a holistic perspective on that. For me,
Yes.
at least, a very important thing was information density. And what I mean by
Yes.
that was like looking at a given clip, like, you know, and each of these clips, you know, keep in mind, is taken from a several hour long stream. Like between the clippers and people we had in the community looking for clips and people within the team as well, we were looking through dozens of, you know, hundreds of hours possibly just for a single talent, you know, when you consider the entire archive of video. And we would choose something that was often like 15 to 20 seconds, maybe a little longer, a little shorter. And within that, you were like, how much does this convey about the talent in as short amount of time as possible? It's not that you want to cut them short, you know, because though admittedly with a 5 to 7 minute video for each talent, there's only so much you can do. It was really important to be like, if you can convey like 2 or 3 things about a talent in one clip versus just one thing, for instance, then that's really good.
Yep.
Or something that I thought of, for instance, which is like, you know, something I guess off the top of my head is like there's a Suisei clip that I remember was with Fubuki and Subaru, and it's about gacha.
Yep.
And you sort of get Suisei's impression about gacha and how she feels about spending money. What I thought to myself is that there's other streams of Suisei playing a gacha game. We could have used those instead. But you know, it would maybe take a couple of those 2 or 3 clips to really show that she plays a lot of gacha, she spends a lot of money, she has this mindset that people find funny or endearing or relatable. But you could take that, or you can take the Fubuki and Subaru clip that's with Suisei, where in just that one clip, she gives you, in a nutshell, what she thinks about spending money. She says, you know, I roll for Callum. If I spend like a bunch of money to get him, I can just imagine he's going out to eat barbecue meat with that money, and it makes me feel a little bit better. Like those sorts of things are like, it's capturing something kind of funny. It's also showing her mindset to something that she spends a lot of her time doing in a really short time span. And that was what I think a lot of people wanted in an ideal clip.
Yeah, and I mean, adding on to that, I mean, one of the things I greatly enjoyed seeing was when people were like, "Well, I don't usually." Matsuri was a good one. I saw a couple people who were like, you know, "Oh, I've seen clips of Matsuri, right?" But you know, they've never really gotten into Matsuri or haven't really watched her streams, and then they watched her section in Hollow Rewind and went, "Man, I want to go watch Matsuri now. I want to go support her," and that was awesome. That's the sort of thing. Like, I liked Hollow Stars 2 and 3. Like, I thought they were cool prior to Hollow Rewind, but I only really was really familiar with Rabaru. After working through Hollow Rewind, I absolutely love watching Astel play Apex. I love watching Shion, you know, just kind of dick around. I love Oga. You know, Tenma is awesome to listen to streaming, him sing and that sort of stuff. So like I've greatly, you know, now it's a little bit more difficult for me because I'm so into all of them now. I don't have enough time to watch all of them. Thank you for Hollow Tools, right?
Everyone is so endearing.
Yeah.
And I think the Uber
Actually,
Sims also were a really big contributor to how things, I think, really came out really well. Because at least for me as a director, the
exactly.
majority of the people I was making video for, like doing the direction for, I did not know much about.
Duke, do you
so
want to
having those people to work with was really
Duke?
nice.
Do you want to explain about your experience with the Uber Sims?
Oh, mine? Yeah, sure.
Oh no, Duke. Sorry.
Duke.
Or who?
Moons.
Oh, Moon. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had the pleasure of having like really great Uber Sims, and they were all, you know, very knowledgeable about their talents. And you know, I'll be honest, I didn't know much about well, a few of the girls actually. Like I had never really watched Mel or Aki before, and you know, all in all, like. Well, we had like Liger on Matsuri, and we had Ainashu, or also known as Shuzi, on Aki and such. So you know, really good quality knowledgeable people. And a lot of the clip choices actually came from the Uber simps. For example, when I had to choose stuff for Rushia, she has this kind of like a stigma, I would say, of being really angry all the time and like yelling and screaming and whatnot. And while that is certainly a part of her, what
It's
Shiroi
not her.
and Lux Nova, exactly, what they told me was they don't want to see their Oshi being like shown as this kind of just simply psycho girl who yells all the time, even though her most popular clips might be like, you know, these really awkward raging moments. And so we came up with something that I would say was pretty good and pretty wholesome all in all, and it was really, she's really endearing, honestly. And same thing with Mel, who was kind of hard to put together because she had this hiatus, and it was hard to find anything to show prior to her hiatus. So actually, if you look at her section of Hollow Rewind, she is very heavy on that second half of the year, and not too many clips pre-April or something, pre-March, pre-May maybe. But yeah, I think Mel was personally like the one girl that I didn't really know too much and didn't really care too much about, as much of a shame it is to admit that. But she's also the one that I think I fell in love with the most, just like seeing how powerful of a girl she is, and you know how brave she is and so on. So it was great.
Yeah.
Learning about learning about the talents that you didn't know so much about through this process. I think especially as a director, where it's like you felt a lot of responsibility to show all their best sides, was really like transformative to how, like, at least for me, how I view the Hololive streamers from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ras, do you want to speak on
To
it a
put
little
it in
bit?
perspective, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Go, Riku. Go.
Let's just say this quickly. Like, to put it in perspective, like when I was directing Generation 2, I in a week I put around like 14 to 16 hours worth of work hours, not like that's per talent, so that's 70 hours worth of work just directing like Generation 2 and communicating with Ubersims about if this clip is all right, and like so on and so forth, like just to give like a time representation about like how much dedication has been went into this project.
Yeah, Rast, you know, you're one of the directors that directed the Hollow Stars, for example, and I think that they tend to get a rep of not being as exposed because of the lack of translated clips, right? What was your experience there?
Yeah, definitely. Because personally, I also like never really watched Hollow Stars actually. So I think the only one that I knew of was like Rika, and like even Rika I only know was like, oh, I know he likes to sing, and he's like really good at singing, but like that's about it. So the communication with the Ubersims is really important, and as everyone said, choosing the clips really makes you know the personality of the VTuber, because like I'm a translator, so I don't really have to. I don't really need translated clips. So every clips that got sent, or like every stream, because like in case I couldn't hear Jake talk before because of Discord problems, but like I don't know if we put this up, but like so our clip arranging process is that people send in links into this whole Excel sheet, and then we just and then we
Speaking of
just
that sheet, Chima, do you want to quickly show everyone that sheet?
Yeah, that's what I
the
was
clip sheet?
gonna do, but keep on talking, Rast.
Yeah, keep talking,
okay.
Rast, while we find that.
Yeah, so so on that sheet, people, so we advertise everywhere. So like the HoloLive fan discords, the personalized like Corona Discord, Mel Discord, those kind of, and Holostar Discords. So we advertised there, and then we basically crowd funded, I guess, in a sense. So everyone sent their links, the links to their stream, and for example, like clips of translated streams, and then us directors basically had to shift through all those clips and then choose what kind of clips and what kind of moments that we want to include. And so
Yeah.
looking through like 50, 60 streams, it takes a really long time. And because, I'm a translator, I don't really need, so I can understand. But like you basically speed simping. So looking at 1 year's worth of stream, you basically speed simp through all of them, especially Holostars, because like I know nothing about Holostars, so they have this kind of side to them. This is really nice. I was I got so moved looking at those streams. It's like, wow, I never knew they had this kind of side to them.
Yeah, sometimes you can get
Yeah.
attached really quickly. Like,
Yeah.
I remember when I was clipping for Miko, like before I even talked with the Uber simp, like we really hit it off when I was working with because of reasons for Mika. But when I was watching her comeback stream, and I knew nothing about her, like before starting on her direction for the video, and I actually just like cried when I was clipping that. It was so emotional.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
was some
I-
moments I genuinely teared up as well watching like the clips. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I'm
definitely.
totally man enough to say that, especially with a lot of the like the ones where like they had some sort of like personally like Miko's a great example of this. I for sure there were some tears shed on my part when I watched that one, but a lot of those I think a lot of the emotional payoffs that we had with that wholly come down to the Uber simps going, these are defining moments that like really emotional moments that you have to include. And
yeah, I really hope some of them are watching the podcast because we really couldn't have done it without you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. The Uber Sims really did help us out. Henry and Shit, do you guys have anything to add? Just like seeing you guys like not talking. Like, do you guys have anything to add?
Bless Uber Sims. That's all what I can say.
Bless Uber Sims.
Bless Uber Sims. You bless them.
Shit, do you have anything to add, Shit?
It's kind of sad since I'm a Yuya Uber simp. No need to send you rewind anyone.
Oh no, Riku, no. Riku, no.
I don't know about that, fam.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, seriously,
Yeah.
like
you're doing that by yourself.
CN Uber Sims, because like again I said before, CN had less community submitted clips, and a lot of time I had to rely on the Uber Sims to help find the clips. So I really like to express my thanks to them. And yeah, without their help, I don't think CN would have even been in a possible video just because how hard it was to find the clips.
One thing I'd like to say about regarding Uber Sims. So before I this is coming from me personally. Before I started the HoloRes TL team actually, I never actually expected that I would ever be working because all the big translators like we have Jin, Liga especially, because the way that I found about translating or how I got started is actually through Liga's little tool thing that he made, and he put that announcement on his channel. I didn't know that 1 year later, or was it a couple of months later, I'll be working on the same project as him, or a lot of the other big names out there you guys would know. And I think that was the best part about this project. One of the best parts about this project, I think, was that I got to actually, talk to these, well, not really talk directly. I got to see them like in the same project as me. So, I'm not sure about how you guys feel about that, but at least I'm happy that I got.
There
that
were definitely
chance.
some people. yeah, there are definitely some people who I saw who we got involved in this project, and like I'm not the best when it comes to like community outreach. I went to like a couple servers and got talking to some people, but like I was trying to let other people do that because I was honestly just really scared to. But some of the people we got onto this project, I was like, I am not worthy. And I was like,
Yeah, same.
I was scared to even like contact and message them, but they were all really nice,
yeah.
and it was
Yeah,
just
like,
really nice people.
gratifying.
Yeah.
because because of reasons, like for instance, like I was like, oh, like he's actually helping, like, or you know,
he was like on Miko's channel for like forever, and we had Harry come in, who's been on Waltame's channel so much, you know.
We had
And
like
a lot of other
we
people
had a
too.
lot of
Like I
people.
can't list everybody, but you know.
yeah, like it was like like if you like go through and look at like the Uber Simps and you go, that guy's got the channel I know about. That guy's got the channel I know about.
Yeah,
that guy's got the channel
that
I
guy
know
live
about.
translates like all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's awesome to just see how many people like participated in this, because it's amazing in my opinion.
Very
Just the pure number of people who came together to make this thing happen. Like and this thing is totally not possible without like literally hundreds of people putting into it. And like many sleepless nights, all that sort of stuff. But like a lot of like the conceptual stuff, like if we didn't have the community help us with clipping, we would have been screwed. If we didn't have the Uber Simps come in and help us pick and organize clips and that sort of stuff, we would have been screwed. If Holorez or Anohara was doing this by themselves, they would have been screwed. So like, I mean, like it like quite literally, this project would not have happened without all the hands that went into it.
It was the sum of all of its parts.
It was the sum of all
it's
the
much more
parts
than
for
that
sure.
too. But
Yeah. Even if you have one person missing, it would have been a down.
It would have been
Yeah. I think this has brought things into pretty good perspective regards to this marshmallow question. I'm wondering if Illidan and Chima, if you have other marshmallows that you might want to talk about.
Yeah,
we do have a lot of marshmallows here. Actually, let's bring up the next one, Chima.
Yeah, sure.
Chima, do you want to bring up the next one?
While I'm bringing that up, I'll just say that, just to close off this whole clip submission thing, if you look at our trailer, we actually have some numbers that we put about like how many people actually contributed to this whole thing. And, for those of you guys listening to this ragtag of a podcast, I recommend that you guys look at that and just kind of appreciate how many people have been involved in this whole thing. So with that, I just wanted to bring up this specific part of this big question here. A lot of it is about editing, but there's something specifically that I thought was really cool, which is, in what order would you now prioritize these parts to begin with with the start of a new production to complete as fast as possible? So like, what are your thoughts as a team lead or as directors or producers about like quality versus speed, right? Because earlier we had joked about how we thought that we could do it by the end of January, by the end of December, and then January, and then February. Why goes to such lengths for quality?
Okay, so I'm going to answer this one personally a little bit, as far as the quality versus speed, right? And hopefully this part sort of covers a lot of us here. So when you're translating something, right? So let's say it's a meme clip, or it's something serious, or it's just a stream moment. Whether you like it or not, you are translating the words they're saying, and by doing so, you are conveying their meaning and what they're saying. If you get that wrong and you give a false impression, that is horrible. You're putting words in someone else's mouth, because the people who are reading your translations have no idea that you are wrong. Or
especially when they have hundreds of thousands of fans.
Exactly. So if you are going to translate something, it has to be done correctly, because you don't want a situation where you breed or cause a VTuber,
Misunderstanding.
anyone really. It doesn't have to be a VTuber. Anyone you translate and give people a false impression about them, make people think, oh, they're only about X and only X, and they have no other facets to their personality, or they meme up a certain aspect or portion of their personality, and that's wrong, because these, at the end of the day, these are people, and we should be treating what they're saying correctly. So prioritizing and trying to make this go faster, sure, I'm sure there are places we can do that, but it shouldn't be at in the grand scheme of things at such a detriment of quality that it affects the quality of the translation.
There's a threshold
personally,
that needs to be reached.
yeah, right. Like, and I mean, personally, if we're talking like we have to sacrifice things, that we have ample time to do it properly.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to talking about speed, it's less about like the order and how we do things, because especially early on, we were very focused on doing things. How do you say it? I guess sort of
Precisely.
at the same time. Like, so when things were in the translation phase, and some things would finish translation before others in terms of an individual's video or part of a video, you would have that move on to translation checking and to proofreading, while the other things were still in translation. Like, it wasn't like a whole step would hold up another. But the later we got into the process, the harder that became. And I think what Polo said at the end there, for projects like this, the best thing you can do is just give yourself as much time as possible to get a final product that you're satisfied with, and to not have to rush anything in an ideal situation, right? And I think, when we one of the downsides that we faced, this is a little bit off topic perhaps, but I think it does tie into speed and versus quality, is that one of the problems we had with clip selection was that we had a set time where we had to have everything submitted. And while Ubersimps or the directors could sort of suggest something in the phases after that, up until a certain point, it became like you had a very limited pool, and most clips were in by the end of October. So November and December clips, there are some very important things that happened there for certain people, and I think in a couple cases we managed to get some of that stuff in, but a lot of times things like that were just skipped in the favor of having a video that has stayed consistent, and we've kept all the parts together for this long, so we don't want to change its internal components, like its very fundamentals, its clips, at the last minute. And I think, with projects like this, when you want to do a rewind of an entire year, ideally, you would have those bits at the end. And I think that's something that I would have liked to improve on. But it was something where it's like, with the way we set it up, it was like there was so much that needed to be done that I think, we stuck with what we had, and I think it still turned out well.
Yeah,
Can
But
I
that's
say
something
something?
I would change an approach. Yeah.
Yeah, jump in.
Alright.
Excellent.
Okay. So with regards to the argument, all right, which should we choose first? I'd say if first of all, of course, there's always there's always that we need a certain level of quality. That's definitely true. But if we have a short timeline, so like as Jake said, we should like whenever, if any one of the viewers here, if you're planning for something like this, you need time. We did not expect for the deadlines to go further than expected. Some of us had an idea, like Chimmy, another director who's not here. They kind of an idea that it's probably not going to work, but we still went with it anyway. So so there needs to be that sort of like leeway. However, I'd say there should be a threshold of quality that we should reach first, and then after that, be like, okay, I think at this point we are. If you're stuck into quality too much, it may cause the timelines to be stretched further and further, and
we were worried about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think we
and-
actually fell for it
yeah.
a little bit too in the end. I think
Exactly.
we started to get into the loop of constantly quality assurance, trying to make it better and better and better. And we questioned, at what point are you losing more than you're putting in?
Yeah,
that was
so-
something that
What
we had to
about
consider
our
a lot.
Diminishing
ginormous
returns.
community QA document?
Yeah,
is
so
anyone
about
gonna-
that,
Ooh,
about
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
so
that
I
one.
wanna let Sheer talk about this a little bit, because I think that Sheer has some interesting perspectives on this if Sheer's still alive. Sheer, are you there?
Yeah, it'd be good to hear from him.
And real quick, I think it'd be kind of interesting if we let people see the MPS, the master
Sure.
pattern.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
So I'll show that while Sheer's talking.
All right.
Yeah, so first off, as Polo said, and like I mentioned in my introduction, as the TL lead and QA lead for both Aonahara and by extension the project for Holo Rewind, I firmly believe translation accuracy is paramount to any translator's integrity. I'm sure this issue has been brought up from time to time within the VTuber community, especially HoloLive, but some translators are misrepresenting the VTubers that they're covering, and I think that devalues their work while harming the talents themselves. And that is, as Polis had mentioned earlier, something that all translators should keep in mind before, you know, diving into this whole VTuber translation business. Regarding the project itself, so there was a lot of QA steps. QA mean quality assurance, where, you know, people are checking the quality of the videos. To kind of give an idea of what we had done, we had TLC, translation check, right after translation, where we had a group of directors who are also translators, fluent in Japanese, and we had some also Chinese and Indonesian translation checkers who were checking the accuracy of the translation. We had subbing QA, as Riku had mentioned earlier, where he was checking timing, the positioning, the accuracy of the subs. Then we got into these other QA steps that we kind of implemented in the middle of the project that, in hindsight, kind of really delayed our video release. So one of the first things that we had was CQA, which stands for Community QA. Community QA, we gathered a group of native Japanese speakers in the Aonahara server, and we kind of, I and Chima and a couple of the directors and other producers had worked together to kind of coordinate this whole CQA process, where we're rechecking the accuracy of the Japanese translations while also rechecking, you know, the subbing. So keep in mind, this is the second layer of QA that we had done on all of the talents, all 50 talents, with this small team of 7 people. With the addition of community members, maybe around like 6 to 10 community members. After that, we had the actual QA process from the teams themselves. So both channels, Aonahara and Holo Resort, have their own quality assurance process built into their pipeline. And they kind of did the same work that CQA did, but with a less emphasis on the language, because many of our QAs do not have proficiency in the languages that we're translating from. The final QA step.
Sorry,
Yes.
when you say pipeline, you're referring to like their regular video making process, right?
Yes. So pipeline referring to the work process that both channels use to produce all the videos on both of our channels. As I was mentioning, the very final QA that we had done was the PQA, which is the producer QA. So as I mentioned, there's 5 producers in this project. We kind of divided up all the generations and QA'd everything. Towards the end, we were running out of time. As you might have kind of realized, some of our premieres were getting late. This was because, you know, we were finding last-minute changes that we needed to make to improve quality for all of you guys. But the important thing to mention is that towards the end of the project, you know, we had another side thing to remember in this whole project was that we're volunteers in this team, in both teams. We had to respect the volunteers' time, their health. So producers and directors, we had many producers and directors who kind of went, MIA from sickness. I personally took 2 weeks off because I was getting sick and I was falling behind on real life work in order to kind of coordinate this project. So with that respect and understanding that, everybody's volunteering in this for fun, we can't really expect much out of everybody to kind of toss aside their real life obligations to do everything for the project. With that said, this PQA final hurdle was very challenging because 5 people reviewing 30-minute videos is very demanding. We had to switch in a couple people from both teams to kind of help out with that QA process. But the whole idea that I kind of want to convey with this project was that we had a lot of QA steps, 5 to be precise, and personally, I think that QA is a very necessary thing in order to, again, ensure the integrity of the translation and also to maintain the quality of the video, especially in such a large-scale project like this, where we're representing multiple facets of the HoloLive community. And looking back, of course, there's a lot of things that we could have changed. We had a lot of early issues with communication, with coordination, with delegating roles. But I think this project is definitely something that we can all look back on and kind of realize that hey, we finally made it, even with all the challenges.
I think it was a big first time for a lot of us for this sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, was. Yeah, I noticed that talking to a lot of team members after, a lot of people were like slowly kind of recovering, but everyone was feeling that burnout at the end. Like noticeably, a lot of the younger members. Both the teams actually have quite a couple younger members, so this would have been their first large major project. So some of them
we've
would
got
been
lots of high schoolers.
Yeah, I've got lots of high schoolers in this project, and so a lot of them weren't used to kind of this kind of strenuous sleep cycle because all of us are from around the world. Like we've got Europeans, we've got Southeast Asians, Americans. So a lot of the time zones and scheduling would have been whack for some of them. So a lot of them need this kind of recovery time. So hopefully we should start getting some more videos out soon, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll be coming.
They'll
They
be coming,
will be
guys.
coming.
Stay tuned.
I think
Stay
Sheer did a
tuned.
great job of explaining the QA things. I want to move on to something else, which is about team organization.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
and kind of on the same vein with the team organization, that sort of stuff. Also, something just to also just let people know. There's quite a few, I think, on both teams, especially with HoloLive Resort subs. But I think both teams had ample number of people that Holo Rewind was actually their first translation project. We had quite a few people that they cut their teeth. Their first project, they cut their teeth on translating in the Holo Rewind project. A hell of a way to get into it.
Oh, way to break it. That's quite literally in the deep end. Yeah, that's quite literally into the deep end and hope you swim.
Yeah.
Just throwing them into a pool.
Yeah,
Yep, that's quite literally it. How fitting, right?
Yeah,
I feel like even like Aonahara, like
TLC food. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
You made me remember that. Yeah, I had the TLC food. I tore him apart.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so on that note about organizing and getting people to work, there are some 2 questions here. Illidan, did you want to summarize them?
So basically, a lot of the people are asking, like, how were we able to keep track of the progress and how we able to keep everything organized and whatnot between like both teams and so many members? And the viewers are just wondering about that.
MPS, quite literally, that master project spreadsheet.
Yeah, the MPS.
And so also the so we were working off of the Aonahara translation server. Discord server, and it was broken apart into obviously there are various roles like editors, translators, that sort of stuff. But also each video had its own editing channel where the Uber Sims, the directors, the producers, and video editors, everyone's basically in that and working on the iterations of each video and that sort of thing. So a lot of it was going basically back and forth with the MPS tracking the overall progress, producers checking in with, hey, how are these videos going? Do you guys need any help? Do you need someone doing that? And then also, I mean, we had generation leads or in QA. We had everyone's basically assigned certain roles, and once you get into that role, it starts going into a back and forth process. So if it's in a subbing role, it then goes to subbing QA, and it goes back and forth with subbing QA, and then once it passes out of subbing, it goes to the editor, and the editor starts editing it and presents that to whoever it needs to be approved by, gets it approved, and then moves it on to the next person, and that was all tracked within the MPS. So each step had multiple steps to it, but it was all broken down fairly well into individual channels on the Discord and the MPS, and then a couple other documents.
Yeah, if there's something I could sort of add, it's just what I see as being two big points based off a lot of what Polis has been explaining. It says like one is that a big important thing was delegation of responsibility. There was a lot of channels that were made within the Discord server and a lot of things that are made where it's like you split up people based on what they need to do and make sure that they're coordinated within their smaller groups, because having a bunch of smaller groups together is better than having like one person tell like 100 people what to do, right? Though there were some producers who I think had to reach between very large groups and keep things together on a larger level. And then we also had I think our group, especially Al Nahar, wasn't really used to, was having a lot of documents with specific guidelines. And you might have gotten the feeling from that as Chima has been scrolling through a lot of these documents in the background as we've been talking. But we really whenever we had meetings, especially early on with the directors and producers and stuff, Chima was always very sure that we had someone taking notes, and often he would be the one to take those notes. And it was important to keep all these things documented. And whenever we had things that needed to be done, we wanted to have something that no matter who it was in the team, or even if someone new during the project itself came on board, we wanted to be able to catch them up to speed as soon as we could. And so we had these documents that were made with things about like proofreading guidelines, translation guidelines, like if you have honorifics in Japanese, how do you translate those, or do you translate them at all? And an unimaginable number of other things. And that was really what kept the order of everything, was that we had those guidelines to fall back on. And, you know, the question, which I'm not sure how much we'll talk about this, the question of whether another Holo Rewind will ever exist is something that's very up in the air. And something that we can't comment on in a definitive way. But what I do think this does is that having had this huge amount of documenting go on over the past however many months this project has taken us, we have set the groundwork for a lot of future potential projects, and just in general work that can be done to a very high standard, I think, because we spent so much time and we had people who were so dedicated to laying out specific guidelines for each step of the process. And I'm very grateful for everyone who's putting time into that.
Yeah, Ek, do you want to comment on it a little bit?
So I was actually gonna go on a rant about quality, but
okay.
It's also okay. It's one thing about this project that I'd like for all the viewers to know is that you can have an enjoyable time. I would say even a more enjoyable time with good translations, because you don't if you have trustworthy translators, unlike some people on YouTube, you can have a really
no names.
Hey, let's name some few.
I'm not gonna say anything. Go. All right. You can have a really enjoyable time. You can watch those videos and be like, oh, okay, this is good. I don't have to worry about what I'm looking at. It's gonna be good. And at the same time, it helps. If you're showing respect to your Oshi, right? You would want the best for them. So that's the thing about quality and why we strive for it and why I actually made the team. Now for for keeping track of this, I would I would say the people that actually had more of a hand in this was Shia and Chimi, because I was actually pretty new to like handling things as a producer. Like I think I did the least as a producer and more of just being a contributor in every any of like various sort of ways. But as the rest of them have been saying, the best way is just to delegate, and the guidelines actually really help. And I hope that people who do a future Holo Rewind, you take the guidelines that we've set and that you implement to yours, because it will be enjoyable. It is, even stuff that's quick isn't necessarily enjoyable, but stuff that's done well within a certain amount of time will be enjoyable. I guarantee it. I think the rest of us can say it well. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to comment a little bit on what you said there. First of all, it's like I do agree that, you don't have to. I think something that Aonahara and Holo Live Resort subs have focused on is that, we're not necessarily the speed subbers who are always the first to the party to get something that's been hip and cool going on the scene. But the content that we do put out, sometimes I think like when I'm looking for clips, for instance, I want to translate outside of the project itself. I'm thinking about like, maybe something was missed by certain people. There's IDs that I've looked at that are in the works right now that, I look up the YouTube URL later and it's like after months, no one's covered this clip that I had in mind. I'm like, this is so good. And that just goes to show that, aside from like speed versus quality in general, like, it would take an unimaginable number of people to cover all the content that's brought out every day by these streamers and to translate it and make it available to people. So there's always more out there to reach, and that's something where it's like that comforts me at least, and to be able to focus on quality and still bring out different kinds of content to people. And one other thing is that before we make any more comments about mistranslation, I do want to say it's not like mistakes don't happen. Even with all the QA, all the quality assurance steps we took throughout this project, mistakes in one way or another probably fell through. Maybe not in ways that the general viewer noticed, but there were things where like we would sort of we had those bingo cards, I think, during all the TV.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the bingo cards?
Yeah,
we can if you want to go there. I just wanted to touch on that lately as an example of like it's important to differentiate. Like there's the whole, how much quality is enough quality to release. We just thought, there are mistakes that can be found that are extremely egregious and would be very bad to let out for people to assume that they are correct without having any reference to know whether like a translation is correct or incorrect or something like that, right? But there's also things where it's like, you could mishear someone, it can sometimes be something that's very minor or a matter of tone, where it's like a lot of people, it won't be so much a matter of what's strictly right or wrong, or a matter of what someone's preference is of how something should be translated. Because translation, in a way, is some people see it almost as art, or if not like art, to put in less pretentious terms, more just like they're putting their own mark on what their work is. So a translator, maybe if they're newer to the scene, they might take things super literally. But some people who I've seen, and some proofreaders I've worked with on this project and before the project, they would take what I would write as a translation line that might be very literal in meaning and might even sound a little awkward in English, and try to make that sound more comfortable and recognizable to an English-speaking audience. And maybe someone would say then, they're like, oh, I don't like that. That doesn't sound right. This isn't a literal translation of the word correctly, and I think it's wrong. You can get into all those semantics and argue about it for hours, but basically what I'm trying to say is that there are mistakes that can be made that aren't going to break the video and don't mean you should never try translating again, you horrid gaijin scum. But there's also things that are like, and there's also things that, where it just becomes a matter of preference. And it's important to differentiate between those things, especially on a project like this, but any person who's doing translating in any capacity.
Yeah.
And in addition, like I mean, an example of like, you know, poor translating, right? That you may actually translate the, you know, it might be a good like word for word translation, but you've taken a clip out of context, like vastly out of context. And that can pose an issue where because there's no context, what's going on. Yeah, it may be funny, but you may be giving you a wrong impression. So there's a lot that should go into it. So there's a lot going into it, I guess is the best way to put it. So you can translate something fantastically and still make a mistake. Like we said, we had a bingo card that we were watching and going, we missed that, or we missed this, you know. So it's, and I mean, we're after Hollow Rewind, at least on the HLR side, vastly improved our overall quality, and we actually have been looking at our older videos, going, "Oh, this has this problem. This has this problem. This is horrible. This is bad." Like, you know, it's on a constantly moving target.
It's really eye-opening.
Right.
It really is.
But one thing that I think the big thing is why are you translating? If you're translating to try and like spread, like, hey, I want you guys to watch this VTuber. I really like them. I want to support them. All of that sort of thing. And you're trying to make the best translation video as possible, and you're putting effort into it, and you're taking criticism and working to kind of better yourself. I have total support for you as a translator. It's if you are not in that headspace, if you're using them as content to build your own channel, or you're going forward and mistranslating and getting called out on it, and you're not making any progress or change, or not attempting to make any changes, that's when I start to have a problem with you. So everyone starts somewhere. So, I mean, you're probably going to screw up translations. That's just kind of how it works. And you know, if you want to learn, I mean, both of our teams, we are recruiting. We take people.
We need Japanese translators.
Right?
Yeah, we are actually.
But you know, not just that, but I mean, and I know Chimata has been super interested in this side. I mean, Hollow fans, that, you know, big Hollow Live Discord. They have a whole translation section where there's translators helping each other and building each other up. HoloRes has a small section as well. You can pop in there. I got into translations going. I do not speak Japanese. I do video editing and project management. That's what I do. So I'm happy and contributing to good translations and that sort of thing, because I'm able to work with other people that have the same, hey, let's do this correctly. Hey, let's make good quality content, all of that sort of thing, and that sort of deal out of, you know, at the end of the day, it's not our content. And we have to treat it with care. And I greatly enjoy working with people who are in that same mindset, because I would like, personally, I want to do more Suisei clips. I want more people to you know, subscribe to Suisei and that sort of thing, right?
She's coming out.
But like, you know, the more we can try and translate and open up this audience for people, I think the better everything, you know, it's better for the HoloLive members. It's better for us, because we can learn and adapt and grow our skill sets and that sort of thing. And that's a lot of fun to me. And people also find things that they greatly enjoy and they love, and that makes me happy.
Okay, great.
We got a marshmallow actually recently for a specific person called Henry. Do you want to pull that up, Chimio? Do you want to pull that up?
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
So you know we're coming
Specifically for
to
me.
specifically for Henry.
Specifically asking for Henry, yo.
Yeah.
Let's
so
put the Ui Simp in the spotlight. Yeah.
where?
Man.
Oh no, Henry. I don't know where. Oh, there it is. There it is. No, it
There
didn't
it
go
is.
anywhere.
I was about to take a sigh of
Okay.
relief, man.
So
There it is.
Really? My entire Discord tag?
Yeah. This
Yeah.
person here is specifically asking
Wow.
for you.
Wait, I can't.
This is
Oh, my-
Henry.
Does Henry still use
Wow.
basic mathematical calculations in editing after the trailer?
Alright, I know who Jason, you little shit. Alright? You little shit, I know you sent this. I know you sent this, you little fuck. I
It all comes out.
no,
Yes.
no, I am still not using basic. Oh god, someone's calling me. Hold up.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
Jason.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
I feel like this was super PG until Henry started talking.
So since
No, I am
since
not
Say so,
using.
please.
since we're coming to a close, I just want to do some lighthearted
We've got some fun stuff here,
Marshmallows.
yeah.
So here's another one.
How do you?
I feel like
that's what I can
you
do.
don't the answer to this is don't.
Sanity when directing Holo Rewind. Just remember that other people are suffering and not just you.
Okay, what about-
Says the guy that caused everyone.
What
to
about in terms
suffer.
of brain cells?
Yeah. Brain cells.
And gone, lost to dust. It's just.
It's gone to negative. My IQ's gone to negative.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure my brain cell count is
It
like
already was.
Yep. The
I
brain
shifted
cells
my
got
bedtime
Thanos.
from 4 to 6 a.m. roughly for like the past half a year at this point.
Yep,
Mhm.
I remember.
That's
I know
4
that
a.m. right
quite
now.
well. Yep. I remember like getting asked by like I'd get pings in proofreaders chat. We have a proofreaders chat just from respect, asking at 8 a.m. my time, like, hey, is anyone awake? I'm like, yeah, I'm still awake. What do you need? Respect.
Yeah, I was shocked whenever I'd message you with a proofreading question and you were awake. I was like, oh my god, bless.
Don't
Yeah.
ask why I'm awake.
Yeah, it was pretty
Ah.
crazy. Some of the people, myself
Subbing
included.
QA, man. 50 talents. Just
Yeah, we don't keep the sanity in here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got
The moment I joined the basement is when my sanity was lost. It just went even deeper the moment this project started.
Yeah.
We got asked
What-
another marshmallow too, actually, asking us if you could only watch one VTuber to
Oh,
like for
yeah.
the rest of your life, who would it be?
Well, if you
Yuya.
could
Hold on,
look
you
at
don't
my
have to answer.
profile pic, you could look
Yuya.
at my- you
Hey,
could look at my profile.
hey, listen to me. Go watch the dog, Corone. Go watch it right now.
No, go watch Yuya.
No,
Look,
Uy
I
Mama,
like
no.
Corone a lot. I just want to say I like Corone a lot. I remember like when we were starting the project, there was debate between Ras and I about who should be an Uber simp, but we couldn't find somebody else. But since then, I've moved on, and if I had to pick a single VTuber,
Oh.
it would probably be Watame because she's so wholesome.
Eh,
Watame Bawari Kunai on
I vibe. I vibe so hard. I bought her anniversary thing and
Wow.
blew a hole in my wallet.
Wow.
You simp. Simp.
Call out the simp.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
I think if I had to watch one Hololiver, it's pretty hard. Like it would have to be a tie between Subaru and Luna. Yeah.
You are
That's fair,
true.
actually.
I mean,
Nah.
I don't have any issues with this. It's Suisei and just Suisei.
The Oshi. Yeah.
to answer.
As ironic as it should be, since I'm co-leading Hololive Resort, my Hoshi is not on Hololive.
Oh yeah,
Right.
mine
Yeah.
isn't, but like it says one VTuber, so it's obvious who I'm picking.
Yeah.
True.
Personally, for me, I'm a master Suisei. I'm a Hoshiyomi.
Yeah.
Actually,
Disgusting. Very disgusting.
I bought the.
Unsub to Sui.
I'm actually gonna be buying her birthday goods. I am buying the full pack, guys. I am buying it.
Hey, buy the pack.
We've got two comments.
Honestly,
We've got
The
two
worst of the
comments in
worst.
you
The worst
guys
of the worst.
go watch
here. Moon, who's your
Okayu.
Oshi?
Just
Who's your Oshi?
honestly, still Okayu, just because yeah, I would very much recommend watching her, just because you can actually understand what she's saying, like at least 99% of the time.
Hey, that is rude.
Hey, the rest are not understandable.
Okay.
He's got a
I have a
point. He's got a
feeling-
point. He's got a point.
I have a
Yeah.
feeling
It's
like
pretty
there's gonna
chill.
be like this podcast is gonna end and like there's just gonna be this huge like
Oh, she war.
backroom brawl over Oshi.
Yeah.
Like
He's gonna see us.
many
throwing
will come in.
hands.
The Hoshiomis are the only ones that are gonna make it out.
No.
Whoa.
No.
We'll see what
I
happens.
missed it out alive.
For sure, I'll fight you guys. I'll fight you guys.
Hey,
Okay.
come
man.
get hands, bro.
So,
Hey,
so-
okay. Who? Let's go by height. Who's the tallest person?
I don't even know my own
Uh,
height.
I'm 6
I
foot.
don't even know my
I'm
own
six.
height.
No,
I'm
I'm
also 6.
5'11".
I'm 6 foot.
Rip.
I'm 6'1".
Rip.
Okay,
I guess,
six
I'm,
foot
the
one
tallest,
is
I,
pretty
guess I'm
tall.
the, I guess I'm the tallest
You
person here then.
centimeters.
You said
Centimeters, okay. Okay,
no idea
I'm
what the fuck
I'm
that is.
183. I'm 183. I'm 183.
Oh shit.
I'm
Oh,
pretty sure I'm
fuck.
like one of the shortest person here. I'm like 171.
I'm
Wow.
I'm 170.
Wow.
How did we move on to height?
Well, it's the
same
Oshi Wars. It's the Oshi Wars. Whoever the tallest survives. Chima, how tall are you, Chima? How tall are you, Chima?
How tall am I? I'm
Yeah.
I only know imperial units, but like I'm 5'8".
I mean,
I
at
thought you
least
were
you know your
5'7".
own height.
You're 1 inch
You know
taller
your
than me.
own height.
No,
I guess I'm the tallest person here then, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
seems
impressive.
Hey, I don't even know my
One year
own
for the
height.
Hoshiomis. 1 year for the
180 is fucking tall, dude.
I
Yeah.
feel short
God
compared to
damn
my
it.
friends, man. Like, I've got,
Jeez, you
like,
have
yeah.
friends over 6 foot.
Yeah, I've actually got a friend who is like 195.
195.
Yeah, 195. Yeah, 195. He was
What kind
tall.
of feet?
7-footer? 8
He's
footer?
he was actually in the high school rowing team, so that gives you some idea.
Ah,
He's a rower, yeah. Oh, that's right. We've got another fun question is would you do it again?
yes, yes, yes.
Shut up, Riku. No.
Time
Yeah,
to bring more.
we get asked this question a lot.
Would we do it again?
Way too much for comfort.
Like
Just pondering the
to be
question
honest
alone
with you,
leads our
like-
collective consciousness into a
The
typhoon.
moment I hear Holo Rewind 2021, I just hear Fortunate Son in the background.
Fortunate son.
The sun.
I think someone asked us if we were winning.
Don't worry, don't
and,
worry.
the answer is always
No.
yes.
No, Riku, you're not saying
Honestly,
shit.
Don't worry.
honestly, I don't know. I might have like said
By
this in
June,
one
I-
interview with the Kiara people.
Oh yeah, the
but,
KFN, that's right.
Yeah, the KFP one.
If we were to do this again within the next year or two, I feel like I would just have to file in my divorce right now.
Oh man.
Gonna drop the white.
Don't worry, by June I will have something.
Uh,
Yeah,
I
Moon
don't
Moon
know.
can't file for
I'm-
divorce. He has to be able
I'm
to tell
kinda-
dad jokes.
I'm kind of on the wish here side of things. Like I like there's a part of me that wants to do it just from the fact like I thought it was like really cool to do, like Holo Rewind, but like at the same time, like I lost basically several months of my life to this project.
Yeah, we all did.
Everyone lost
We all did.
Yeah.
100 of us.
countless
100 of us
nights,
lost our
countless
lives.
days.
And I don't know if I
Sleepless
really
nights.
want to put that much time into another project
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
It was
I
rough, but
mean,
I think the best thing to come from this project is really just like again the groundwork for things in the future.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the
Yeah.
same thing, but other good things. More good
Right.
things are certain to come. I think you guys
Like,
Yeah.
I'm
that.
I mean,
I'm very-
if we were to do this like 2021, we would like need to be starting like immediately to keep it all
Immediately, yeah.
bite sized.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
Okay.
very
no
open.
one's in any
Yeah.
in any shape to do that right now.
Yeah,
Like
any
all,
other-
both of our
Ah,
teams
God.
are like both like in the oh god, Holo Rewind's over. Like
We're still in
freedom.
rehabilitation.
I've been let out of the basement. Like
I think we're still
Most seriously-
rehabilitating.
If we do more like Holo Rewind in the future, we're never gonna
God.
put out that video.
all right,
Like-
fuck.
Mhm.
All right.
Oh,
I've got a question in the chat here for me.
Oh, you're looking at the chat, huh? All right.
Oh yeah.
Can
Yeah.
we get
Right.
Polos
Can we
to
get Carlos
answer?
to answer what happened to Holo Resort subs community poll and the Holo Rewind 2020?
Rewind.
Yes.
Oh wait, I think.
What
she
was
remembered that.
What was the community poll?
Polos, would you like to explain?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and explain that. So as I think Sheer said earlier, there were several of us that were fairly sick on the director producing side of things, and I was one of the ones he's referring to the point of I basically was bedridden for over 2 weeks. And I quite literally woke up from a nap, still kind of not feeling very well, and was looking at the channel because I check it, and I was like, hey, we haven't made a community post in a while. Let me make a community post really quick. And I'm like half asleep, not feeling well at all, and so I'm like literally underneath blankets, like typing this thing, like coughing to death. And hit send, and then the incessant messages of like, Polos, you idiot. You missed it. Like you're supposed to be a PR. You're supposed to check and find this stuff, and here you are making it. I'm like, I'm so sick, I don't even care. Like, it was just. I had a very rough time for the last couple weeks of Holo Rewind.
That's just a little.
It hit at a bad time. It hit at a bad time.
It had that
Yeah.
the worst
Sick.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
That's a-
sick all through trying to get Hollow Stars 2, 3 completed. The day I was feeling better, the day that we were releasing, and the day we were releasing, they mentioned I'm a volunteer firefighter, and I actually got we got a car accident. And they did an all call for it because they needed more hands. So I've got a video. I'm waiting on final QA things so I can render this thing, and I'm like, I can't let someone go die in a ditch, guys. I am sorry, and I literally did a fire call, came back, emergency rendered Holostars 2, 3. Uploaded it. YouTube fucked it over and completely broke it. And then I had to re-export and upload it again. And all this time, I'm so stressed out and so just tired from cutting someone out of a car that I'm just literally dying. And I went to sleep and I did not wake up for 2 days.
So that's just a little slice. That's just a little slice.
Struggles.
Right.
With all of the last minute things that happened during our uploading schedule, you honestly could have made a dramatized movie about it. It would have been
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
We don't have to get into all the stories, but I want to say Henry had his story. If you want to tell it, you can tell it.
I have a
think-
question to ask.
Yeah, so we got to get wrapping up now, actually.
Okay,
But I know that Henry's gonna come back in session 3, I think it was. So that would be nice.
If I can wake up early. If I can wake up early.
Okay.
I hope we get to hear your story then.
Yeah.
I can tell it on there. Pretty sure.
Please share your story. So I just have so we're gonna have some closing statements from each person, when we close. But right before that, there's one quick question that I got from 2 different people, which was specifically about level of Japanese. And so maybe some of our directors and our translators can talk to what level of Japanese do we need on the team, and who's has the highest?
Depends on
Goodness.
We're definitely all extremely Joseph. Yeah.
I wish.
Very Joseph.
Okay. So I just want to start out with, please raise your hand, and I'm raising my hand for the ones that cannot speak a lick of Japanese here.
What do you count? What counts as a lick? What counts as a
Um,
link?
You can identify a couple anime phrases.
Yeah, my hand is right up.
Yeah, I
So I
would
think-
say the people who are out on that are Polos, Illidan,
And MLG.
I think.
MLG, yeah.
But
MLG,
Henry's
yeah.
a native, so it's okay, you know.
No, I
So
mean,
moving on. So-
But yes, we had some.
Come on.
For a more serious answer, we had some native and heritage speakers, I suppose, who are definitely part of like community QA / in our team, who I would say are probably at the highest level. At that point, it kind of gets kind of ambiguous of who's the best. I think a lot of the other people who at least were working on Japanese related parts within the team have a pretty respectable level. It definitely varies, and I'm not sure like how everybody got their experience. At least for me, I've been taking Japanese in high school and college, and with the last class I took, which was like last spring, I was supposed to take a mock exam for the JLPT N2, but because of virus circumstances, I didn't end up taking that. But in theory, I should have passed that.
So if we go with credentials, I think among all of us, Rast is probably the highest because he has an N1.
Rast has a JLPT N1 certification.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Holy crap.
N1.
My man.
Wow.
So yeah, and I just want to Jozu. You're
Yeah.
very Jozu.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Nah, I'm not. Yeah.
Ross is at the level where if he goes to Japan, the people will be like, "Oh, how long have you been living here?"
Oh yeah,
instead
how
of
long?
saying Nihongo Jozu.
No one can remember.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you know, Rast, where are you right now?
You know what? I am in Japan.
He is in
Whoa.
Japan.
Exactly.
Yes, I am in
It's
Japan.
about dinner time over there, right?
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. right now. I haven't eaten yet.
Nice.
It's
Okay.
currently 10:24 and I haven't eaten yet. Yep.
Yeah.
So
So just to
yeah.
wrap
Mail
up,
me some Pecco wine.
Right.
yes, mail us some Pecco wine later.
Mail us.
Yeah.
Just to wrap
Smell
up,
us some Pecco.
just to wrap up, I will say that if the people who are asking this kind of question is interested in joining the team and are nervous or intimidated, yes, you do have to have at least probably an N3 level of Japanese in order to participate.
At least.
At least, right?
As far as
And-
the translation side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
like,
both teams.
if you're gonna translate,
Right.
if now, but like you've got twats like me who like don't speak a lick of Japanese in the
Yeah.
team, and we have so there's other roles, especially if you're joining a translation team,
Right.
and you're also going to get access to people like Rast or Chimada, or
I mean,
Respect.
Anohara has a
People
Japanese
who-
school.
Right.
Yeah,
Anohara
we
has
do.
a Japanese
We do,
school.
actually.
Ek at Holores. I'm gonna plug you, Ek. Ek teaches Japanese, uses Hololive as some examples and that sort of thing.
He
so
also
you can
teaches
learn
English,
Japanese.
by the way, if you don't know
Right.
English.
So
Yeah.
if you want to learn English, I mean, hit me
Yeah.
up. But
Yeah.
like we're willing to
Proofreading.
help people. We want more people to translate.
Yes.
So we're willing to help people out on that respect. So
Especially Holo Resort.
Yeah.
we have
Yes.
we have like
Okay.
7 translators.
Okay, so
Conclusion, just don't be intimidated. Come talk.
yeah, you don't have to be intimidated.
Yeah, just like hit us up, join our discords, hit us up, like us, and just come along. Like we're always friendly. Most of the
Not
time, we
native.
don't bite. We don't bite.
I
MLG.
also want to talk about the CM requirement. Actually,
Oh yeah.
a lot of you might want to join CM because maybe you're a American-born Chinese or just a Chinese abroad, but maybe you don't know how to write CM. I'd like to say a lot of people in Hololive Resort actually doesn't know how to write Chinese because they are maybe American-born Chinese and stuff, but it doesn't really matter because we don't really use written Chinese. So if you have a certain fluency in just listening Chinese, feel free to try and apply for Hololive Resort, and maybe we could teach you some Chinese, or you could try and help us in doing CN translations.
In general,
Yeah.
listening is the most needed skill.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially,
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
And
just
also,
oh
oh sorry.
yeah.
You'll be quick. Yeah, on HoloRes, we're developing channels for learning languages. So if you're really interested in learning, like one day you aspire to be a translator like us, or like those who are proficient in Japanese, you can do that. We're trying to advocate more of that on HoloRes. So come along. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks. So
Thanks.
just to conclude, I will say that both of these teams has a test, but as long as you pass the test, we have translation checkers for a reason. We care about quality, and we will make sure that your translation in the end will look really nice. Okay. So with that, I want to move on to closing statements. So maybe we'll go in reverse order. So from the right to the left of the screen, you guys can maybe say 1 or 2 minutes of a closing statement.
Sure.
Is he alive still? I
Is
think
Share you still alive? Yep. No,
He is.
Share's
He
alive.
is.
He's
All right.
alive.
Share.
Yeah.
Share.
So, yeah, I'm here. What kind of a statement exactly should we talk about?
I just wanted to give. I just wanted to.
Anything you want to say? It can be really
Anything.
Anything.
Yeah, so I guess I'll use my closing statement to kind of reiterate what some people had said in the discussion just before, which is that, at least for Aonara, we have a test for translators. So I honestly encourage people to take it regardless of your level. It's always worth a shot. I think you can learn, if anything, you can learn where you kind of need to improve in terms of listening and being able to kind of understand. It's a good baseline test, and it's a good way to connect with us, the team. And there's a lot of us who really welcome new people. So if you have any interest of any kind, not just translating, but as the other team members had said in the past, if you have any interest in any other roles, you want to find out more about how the channel works or what these roles do, how the group dynamic works. If you want to come, just come by and check it out. Personally, I've lived in Japan for half of my life, and so I really enjoy talking with people who are also enthusiastic about Japanese. So like I said,
Holy shit.
if you're interested, come by. I'd be more than happy to get you onboarded as a translator if you can pass the test. With that
I
said,
did not
I
know that.
think, yeah. With that said, I think, as I had mentioned earlier in this whole podcast, this whole of Rewind experience was phenomenal. It was a great pleasure to work with so many distinguished people in the community, as well as so many enthusiastic members who are just interested in VTubers as a whole. The whole experience was quite breathtaking. It was very tiring, but I think
Emphasis on breathtaking.
it was. I really hope that all of you had enjoyed what we had worked on, and I can personally say that from the team that we are very thankful for the community, their support, and also for each other for being able to work together on such a large scale project as this. So yeah, thank you very much for stopping by to the podcast.
Thank you. Riku?
Thank you. Riku?
As we've said earlier, I just want to say that we are actively looking for translators, especially for Japanese. And if you're confident, it doesn't you don't have to be intimidated by the people who are by us team leads, but if you are at least entry, as they've said, and can be confident enough to comprehend the VTubers that we all love, please hit me up and I will be introducing you to the Japanese team leads, and then you'll be taking a test. And even if you don't know Japanese and still want to be a part of something like this project or something smaller, you can still hit me up. And there's plenty of roles like proofreader, subber especially, since I'm the one who managed all the subtitles for Holo Rewind. Yeah, I can be fairly confident of my skills. Even though I still tell myself that I'm very much learning. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you,
Alright.
Rust.
Sure. I don't know what to say, but I guess for me, I got into Hololive around May. Yeah, around May, I guess. So I was one of the coronavirus boom, if you would say, because because Hololive exploded because of the quarantine and such. So I was one
Yep.
of those people, and uh, it was really interesting to be able to participate in this project because this is also the first time I did any kind of big project like this. I'm still in university and whatnot, and so trying out all these kinds of stuff, translating. I've also only been translating translating videos and stuff for like a few months actually. But I've been living in Japan for 5, 6, wait, no, 4 years. Yeah, 4 years now. 4 years now. So uh, I'm happy to be able to contribute like this. I also really like studying languages, which is part of the reason why I came to Japan and study here. I'm an Indonesian. I can speak English, Japanese. I'm also studying Korean and Chinese a little bit. I've got Chinese heritage, but I can't really
Nice.
speak.
So
Yeah,
you're
so
gonna become a CN translator soon?
no, that depends. I haven't really studied much, but
Come join
yeah.
the
So
CN team.
if you really wanna study languages, you can just come and talk to us here. We can help you if you really actually want to study and translate. Because for me personally, I've read novels, I've read manga since I was a kid, and translating is actually a dream from me. I've always wanted to translate. Uh, since I was a kid, I read mangas. I want to translate this. I want to uh help spread manga, but now it's VTuber, so it kind of works. But it's hey, this is my dream. I wanted to. So if you're like me and you have the same kind of dream, same kind of motivation, come and we'll help. I guess that's it.
Yep. Thank you, Rust. Paulos.
So first off, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast and that sort of thing. Thank you very much for coming out and hanging out with us. I do appreciate it. And hopefully you guys will enjoy some of the translation stuff that we're working on and that sort of thing. That will you'll start to see here probably within the next couple of weeks from either of our channels. If you are interested and you're concerned, you hear the word test from either Anohara or Hololive Resort, don't worry about it. Just give it a shot. You will miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you might as well just go for it. I went for it, and I'm in the translation team now. So come join us, have some fun, and that sort of thing if you're even remotely interested. Big props and hats off to everyone in the project that kind of helped and made sure this all got done. It made it such a good project. 5 hours of VTube content is a lot. So lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this. So, thank you guys for watching and that sort of thing. And I hope you guys will keep an eye on for the next 2 podcasts because I think those will be really good.
Thank you, Paulos. Henry, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, just a little bit. I just wanna say that I'm glad to work on such a big project like this. It's been really amazing. If you haven't watched any of the videos, you should, because everyone really put all their time into these videos. So it would be greatly appreciated if everyone could just go and watch these videos because they're really good. They're really good. High quality, editing, translations, everything. Really good. Highly recommended. You can show it to your friends if you want to. It's a really good starter if you want them to get into the VTuber rabbit hole because it's pretty cozy in here despite being a rabbit hole. If you want, if you want to, if you know how to edit, Aonahara is opening their editing test soon. We're currently reworking them so that we can sort of evaluate your skill more, but it shouldn't. You just need like a basic understanding on how to edit. We can always help you. We have guidelines. I can personally help you. We have a bunch of talented editors here, so everyone else can help you out. So should be pretty cool. Hope to see you guys on the next 2 podcasts, which is it's pretty
Coming
soon.
soon. They're coming pretty
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah. Thank you, Henry. Jake, do you have anything?
Yeah, just a bit. Thanks everyone for coming by. If you're still listening to this now, I commend you and thank you. It's been a pleasure to work on this project, and I had so much fun learning more about all the Hololive talents that I learned about through it, and all the people that I got to work with. Check out Hololive Resort and Aonahara Translations. We're trying to do as much high quality work as we can, and we are really hoping that you guys will look forward to our future projects. And definitely come out, check the team out on our Discords. We are really happy to talk to anyone who stops by. Thank you.
Thank you. MLG?
So I think the people before me pretty much summarized all my thoughts. So I don't have much to say, but I would just like to talk about Hololive Resource CN team's future goals or what general role that we're going for. So right now, since after the controversial HoloCN graduated, we're currently basically stuck in thinking about what chips to do. So after a long discussion with the HoloCN team, we have decided that we would be translating Genshin videos or mostly Bilibili videos with CN viewers, such as the Genshin Paimon CNVA, or someone like from Nijisanji's child company or Project XP. So I hope you guys would be looking forward to that, as we think that it would be pretty enjoyable. So thank you for coming to today's podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it and support us from now on.
Thank you, MLG. EK?
Besides, I hope I didn't go too deep into my rants earlier, but basically, just that, and come by. Thanks for everyone for contributing to the project. I want to give a big shout out to Chimmy for his big help. I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from the people here with how to, I'd say it's my first time project managing as well. But yeah, big thanks to everyone who contributed. Wonderful experience. I'll not forget it in a long time. Come by if you want to chat with us. We'll be more than happy to talk just about anything, actually, for me at least. But yeah, thanks everyone. Yeah.
Thanks, CK. And Moon, lastly, Moon. What are your thoughts?
Thanks everyone for coming, for tuning in. I must say I'm really glad to have had the chance to take part in this huge project and to have just learned so much about project slight project managing in general, but of course about the Hololive girls themselves. I believe I and Henry are pretty much like the two like first ones to Onahara because we were here when Onahara was born, and at that time we weren't too sure what Onahara would become because you know we were just starting out in Hella Ragtag and whatnot. But shortly after our start, you know, we actually became a channel that tries to focus a lot on quality, and I think that Hollow Rewind greatly helped us in that, and I'm really glad about that. And I'm just, although we might not be the biggest like TL channels on YouTube, I'm just happy that we can try to offset, you know, speed subbers and try to offer something high quality. It is kind of quality is kind of a drug. Like just go watch a Hollow Rewind video and look at the subs and just see how the YouTube video progress bar isn't covering the subs, and then go check another video like from a speed subber, and
yeah,
you just,
definitely.
you know, they say, well, you know, when you once you go black, you can never go back. It's kind of the same thing.
What?
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Dude.
Moving on.
That's all. Thanks for
Moving
coming.
onwards. Yeah, finish up,
Ye-
Moon.
Yeah.
No, that's all.
About
That's all. Thanks
subtitles.
for coming.
Thank
No,
you
no,
everyone
it's
for your closing statements. Yeah, we've got, I guess that's everything. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Real quick.
Yep, go.
Can I get everybody in chat? I want some nice clapping here for Chima. This whole project, the podcast, like everything. This whole thing would not be possible
motherfucker.
without this man.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, freaking claps, because like, if there's a glue that kept us all working and together, it was Chima and Sheer for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
For sure, like 100%. These two guys really kept us going.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Well, thanks,
everyone, for
guys.
coming.
Thank you.
Yeah. Our next
alright.
podcast. Yep. Let me just quickly intersect. Our next
Wait.
podcast is going to be in. Oh, is it? It's in 2 days. Yeah, 2 days at 9 p.m. UTC on the March 12th. So stay tuned for that, everyone, and we'll see you then. Thank you for all for coming.
See ya.
Woo!
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Alright.
Bye.
Hey, one last plugin.
Okay,
Yes.
one last plugin. Come on.
Go subscribe to Yamete Kudasubs.
Oh God. Yep.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Hey,
Hey.
Enohara subs. If you're not subbed to HLR, what are you doing?
Hey, y'all should sub to Machita Shima. There's this VTuber. You know, you might not have heard of her, but I recommend it.
Chima is a
Hey,
good.
have you guys heard of Shin Yuya?
Oh my God. No.
Okay,
Stream now.
I'm ending the stream now.
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
See you, everyone. Thank you for coming.